Hello there. It's April 10th, and I just want to tell a story real quick. And as you can see, I just woke up, and so I just want to. It's my dream. I just want to tell the story before I forget about it because it's a dream, and I try to keep it simple, but to be honest with you, the content is starting to fade away. So I'm not sure how much I still remember. So here we go. It's about the show and book that I really loved recently. It's called Good Omens, and it's a real popular book, and a show just came out last year around this time, and now it's April, and I remember that show first came to Amazon Prime. It's on like 10th, May the 10th, yeah, around that time. So it's like a year ago, and I never know my passion about this show and this book that I never heard about it before I watched the show. It's last this long. It's like a year ago, not a year ago, a year after. I still crazy about it, and I make a podcast about it with my friend. I talk to basically everyone I know about this, and I encourage them to watch the show. And I bought the original book, and I absolutely loved it. And I think it's a great book, and it's a great show. I watched the show around 3 or 4 times, maybe, till now. Just a week ago, I rewatched it again, and it still makes me laugh, it's so touching. It has so many moments that I never forget. And now I read the original book, and some of those scenes, it just stuck in my head, and I think that's why I had this dream. So basically, this dream is about Crowley and Aziraphale, and I really love Crowley. I think he has so many characteristics that I can find it some way or somehow on me. So for me, Crowley is more related to myself. But somehow in this dream, I am uh, kind of um, in this relationship. I kind of became the part of Aziraphale, and that's a bit of surprise. I don't know why, but I'm just thinking maybe it's because I love Crowley more, and I also I always love Michael Sheen, but compared to David Tennant, I love David Tennant a little bit more, and I see more pictures or articles and shows about David than Michael. Sorry, Michael. It's David is the doctor, okay? It's just there's no comparison to the doctor. So I think it's just for me in my head, it's easier to picture David's David's face, or should I say Crowley's face, than Aziraphale's. And another thing that I can another reason that I can think as why I project myself into Aziraphale, not Crowley. Maybe it's because I told my girlfriend, actually one of them, a couple of days ago, maybe I don't know, 2 weeks ago. We just chatting and through phones and texting and something like that. And we talk about relationship. And she currently in a relationship that she and her boyfriend, or they're in 2 different continents. And so she's back in home and he's currently in UK. And he originally planned to go back home on Easter holiday, but now, COVID-19 and the quarantine, and he just have to stay in the UK's apartment. So it's kind of sad, and so she talked to me about it, and she asking if I had anyone, to have a relationship with, or just, do a little bit of flirting, or maybe someone have interest in me, and that's very rare happen on me. And so I say no, but I dreamed, technically not dreamed, just daydreams. I said that if I was if I in a relationship, I might become those girls that, just stick around with their boyfriend to everywhere, and completely lost their own personality. Those kind of girl I might become. It's kind of surprisingly that I have those thoughts, and when I speak it out loud, she is surprised too, because in her eyes, I'm kind of the girl that very, well, quote unquote, strong and independent. I don't know where she's so strong from. I am so weak, and another quote unquote to Aziraphale in the good element. I'm soft. I can say I'm fragile, but maybe, in some other people's opinions, that I look like I'm kind of strong and independent and something like that. So she's quite surprised when I said if I was in a relationship, I would be those girls girl, because I'm usually not those girls. So that's might be the other reasons why in the stream I play the character of Aziraphale. And maybe the third reason is uh, the main or the core of the of Crowley's character, or Crowley's personality, is that he appears to be very evil, or very hardcore, very cold, but actually he is really sweet and kind. And what David said, his character Crowley is rather huggy or something like that. I can't remember the exact word, and just something like that. So Crowley is, you can say, he's cold outside but warm inside, and Aziraphale is kind of, he's really nice, he's really kind, he cares about people, and he do good things, but he had some kind of cruelness inside him. The this part of Aziraphale, I think, starting to show from, I remember a scene where they on a bunch and they talked about what? So they talk about something, and basically it's something happened to someone. Maybe it's the Antichrist, I don't know. And Aziraphale's answer. So basically Crowley asked Aziraphale a question, and obviously Crowley had his own answer. But Aziraphale's answer is, to his surprise, much cruel than Crowley's answer. So it's a bit of surprise, Crowley, and that's basically what's going on. And so I think, just a thought. Nowadays in this society, I think more and more people related to Crowley than Aziraphale, because we think we linked with everyone through the internet, but actually I think we're more isolated than ever on the inside. And this quarantine thing, this COVID-19 thing, everyone just stay at home, and you forced to stay at home. You forced to deal with yourself for a very long time. And so that kind of just that feeling, that loneliness we all have all the time. But if we just doing our normal things and have a normal life, just daily basic, and those things will rush our loneliness off. You still have that loneliness inside you, but you have so many things going on daily basis, so you hardly to notice. And now you have to sit to explore the inside of everyone, and so that loneliness is starting to appear, or I think it's just explode to everyone. But Aziraphale, I hardly know anybody that have those personalities like Aziraphale. It's so rare. Maybe one or two, I can recall maybe one or two of my friends, they have those personalities like Aziraphale. Very kind, very generous, but sometimes they had those stubborn time, or they just say, I put my foot down, those times. And yeah, so 15 minutes, I never talked about my actual dreams. The dream is really simple. I don't know what is to start, or how it started, because it's a dream, you know. And I just remember we are we're kind of on a cab, like a black cab sort of things, and we sit in the back. And in this part, I really don't know which one I'm playing, so I really don't know if I was Aziraphale or I was Crowley. But I do remember is that the cab driver is sort of looked like Hasta in a show, and so Crowley and Aziraphale just reading some horror stories, or tell some horror stories to Hesta while they were driving through. Is it through London or just through, you know, highway? I can't recall. I think it's through London. And they're passing through parks and something like that, and so many greens passing through the cab windows. And what is actually in those horror stories, I forget. I forget about it right now. Because, first of all, it's not the point. Second of all, I really don't like horror movies or those horror stories. I like science fiction, but not horror stories or movies. So that's, you see, I'm soft. Oh, I don't like spooky. I hate spooky. I like mysterious, but I don't like those things. And the one thing that I do remember from those black cap scene is just before they get off. Sorry, not get out. Just before they get off, I, there's like a movie shot focus on the name of the book that they're reading. It's kind of like the book that they read the stories in the books to Hasta. So the cover of the book is 100 horror stories happen in cab, something like that. And so they carry the book and they get off the cab, and that's the scene. That's the cab scene is over. And next scene is, and this part I remember very clearly, that I am Aziraphale. It started. They got off the cab, and Crowley disappeared. So it's like, uh, I am Aziraphale. I walking in front of Crowley, and we're talking something. And after I opened the front door of the apartment, not the bookstore actually, it's just kind of big black front door of apartment. It's look like those normal black door you can see everywhere in Paris, and just really high and really big, and but really thin, those kind of things. And I open the door and I look back and there's no one there, and so I stick my head to the street and I look around and there's no one there. And so I close the door. Obviously, I'm very confused. And so I go upstairs. It's kind of like those stairs in Sherlock Holmes. And so maybe the door, because it's a black door, it may be kind of like the doors in Sherlock Holmes, Baker Street 221B. And so I go upstairs and then a staircase, and I walk to a second floor, or in Britain they call it the first floor, for no reason. And so I opened another door. It's kind of like the door to the bedroom, and I started to calling his name. I was like, Crowley, Crowley, where are you? And because we told a lot of horror stories, and I'm particularly bad at it, so I kind of freaked out. But not a big one, it's just a small one. Uh, Apparently, I kind of know it's practical joke, but I'm still, a little bit afraid on the inside. So I calling his name, Crowley, Crowley, where are you? And I looked around, and the flat had those really big windows, and with white frame, that the kind I really like. So it's kind of more like apartment in Paris. Well, I didn't spot Eiffel Tower through the window. It's just a normal window, and the sunshine's coming in. Is it night or evening? It's kind of like the afternoon. So the sun is not real big, but you have some good quality sunshine. And there are desks, there are books, there are loads of books. I love books. I think on this point I'm really related to Aziraphale. I love books, and I love old books, because I think it is because when I grow up, we don't have a fancy, book room or study case, something like that. But we do have a huge shelf, and my father made it, the bookshelf, and they have loads of books. Some of the books some of the books are from my granddad, and there are some serious old books, but in good shape. And so I grew up reading those books. So I have some complex about old books. The smell of it and the feel of it really take me into back, just instantly take me back to my childhood. And so back to the story, back to my dream. Is there anything else? Oh, I spotted on some green leaf, some plant in the apartment, and those are the most important things. The other furnitures in the apartment is just like every other apartment. You have sofa, you have chairs, You have a huge mirror, and y there's a huge bed. There's a huge bed on the floor, and I kind of like those beds that don't have any back flap or anything. You can say I'm kind of that. People like put their mattress straight on the floor and just sleep on it. uh, Again, because when I was not that little, like 10 or 12, I have one of those beds, and it was the happiest years in my life. I have everything, and those beds are real good. If you have loads of books just laid around it, and you can have bedtime talk or pajama parties with your friends. That is real fun. And I know it's kind of dangerous, but I used to light candles in my bedroom with my dad's permission, and he told me how to be careful around those candles, especially that huge shelf of books is in my bedroom, and so something to just be wary of, and it was real fun. And so again, back to the dreams. I looked around and I still calling his name, Crowley, where are you? It started to feel spooky. I don't quite like it. And just as I talking, I spotted on a little. Is it a tail or a head of a snake, of that black snake, with his belly is red, and just wandering around the plants. And I just, oh Crowley, you're there. I see you. And usually I hate snakes. Like, I really hate snakes. If there's any animals that I'm really afraid of or just hated it, snake won't be the first one. A spider would be the first one. But I'm really afraid of snakes too. But it kind of like that is kind of like those small snakes, really cute, never do any damage, and if it bites you, you won't be dead because there's there's no venom go through their teeth. There's really cute small snakes, and that I know in the original show and the book, Crowley is kind of like a huge big snake from hell, but that one is particularly small. Well, I think it's a demon. It can change itself into any shapes, right? So it doesn't matter if it's big or small. If the size doesn't matter. That's what she said. Oh, right there. And so now Crowley knows that I sees him, and so he wandering around, just walking like a snake. Well, not he's a snake now, so he is just, I don't know how to say a snake. Can you say walking or just something? Cause I know snakes walks with their bellies, and so I don't know if it's technically walk, because they don't have legs. And so he's snaking, I say snaking towards me, and running through his body around my ankle, and slowly he changed into Crowley, and I run my arm around him, around his shoulder, and we fall on the bed, and I started to. So I run my arm around his neck, so I'm a little bit higher than him, and so I look down on his face, and I see those golden eyes of a snake, and I just asking him, why you do this? Is it fun or something? But I say it in a very amusing tone, and so just flirting around maybe, and apparently he's very awkward that I spoiled on him. He thinks this may last a bit more longer, but it's not, and so he's not very good at it. Well, he's not very good at hide and seeks. Well, Aziraphale is not very good at magic, so seems to me it just doesn't matter. And so we talked about something, and I can't remember. It's like those really just senses no reasons. I think when you're in a relationship, a lot of things that you talked is bullshit. It's just ways that you you tell the other person that how you love them, and just something sweet like that. Yeah, and that is all. So if I really just put it up together, I can tell the stories within 5 minutes. But now half hour passed and we just finished. Oh, it's so fun. Every time I talked about Good Omen, I have lots of fun. Oh, and I record that podcast with my friend about Good Omens maybe a month ago, or month and a half ago, a month and a half ago. But that was the best time that I have in 2020. This is a shit year, guys. This year is, I don't know. It's on. It's like a Pandora's box. Just shit happened. I don't know what is going on. Oh God, this is ridiculous. Because I have my own struggles in the 2090s. So I think, in 2020s things will change. Things will getting better. No, it's not. The whole world is fucked. So, oh Jesus. Well, you always have your imaginations, right? When things goes down, you always have your imaginations. I can't believe it's April 10th. Times flew by when you're a piece of shit. Oh, I'm going to maybe have a shower or something just to freshen up. It's very lovely to talk to you. And see you next time. Bye bye.